It's 5:43 p.m. So I say all the time, you don't have to watch every video that I do, but thanks for the support. So I apologize for, bombarding y'all with so much, but this helps keep my anxiety down throughout the day. But dang, it seems like as if I haven't ordered DoorDash in over a month. I think it's been about a month or over longer than a month. But or about a month. But it seems like as if the delivery fees, they raised their prices. So I'm hungry right now, and I don't eat mainstream fast food anymore, such as churches, Wendy's, something like that. I mean, after what I heard about Subway, I feel grossed out eating that anymore. I mean, with the tuna not being real, so like I just looked, and I'm hungry right now, but cause in a little while would be the time I would usually take my own break at about 6 o'clock, but they didn't have the special dinner tonight, so I kind of figured that they wouldn't, but which means for the rest of the week I gotta have my own dinner. But because like on Tuesdays, you know, they give us a special dinner. Not every Tuesday, but sometimes. And so they're not having that event, but the coworkers, they usually offer me their food, and then it's three other people who usually don't want their food or don't eat their food, and then there's me. So the other three plates, I'm spending the rest of the week eating that, and I don't have to spend extra money on dinner, But that's generous and nice that they share, with us for our hard work and everything. So I hate when I try to look at Uber Eats or DoorDash and I'm like undecided on what I want to eat. Like difficult to choose, but I ended up not ordering. So I know I'll survive the night, but I mean I'm feeling like hungry enough that I feel like it's gonna be like torture for me to try to go to like 3 hours and 15 minutes longer without food. And I guess this is how people feel when they do fasting. But it's like now that I'm not on the psychiatric medications anymore, I don't overeat anymore. I eat my standard 3 meals a day and sometimes 2 meals a day. And I do not snack in between, but sometimes I have a dessert, and that's my big weakness right there. But I try to not overdo it, but it seems like one cookie every day can keep you fat. It's amazing, you know. I'm just use that for an example. Or one serving of ice cream every day can keep you overweight. So I I mean I remember dealing with Lisa Ruby, the fake deliverance minister who wanted to she was gaslighting me with the food at her house, and she would hide the food for no reason, hide my own food from me in the refrigerator. And she had a lot of stuff, and then she was very controlling with the food and the bathroom trips and everything when she was supposed to be just a Christian friend. And and I mean certain circumstances that happened recently have made me I ended up having those feelings again, to be re-traumatized and shocked and confused all over again. um Wondering, why would a Christian do this to you, or how could you do this to me? So I had refrained from fasting I refrained from fasting for a few years because of what Lisa Ruby did to me, like trying to force me to starve myself in the name of fasting and getting demons cast out. What she said, that I'm full of demons and that need to be cast out. So she tried to make it like as if she was just trying to be like experimenting and trial and error. And then she got mad anytime I tried to resist. And remember I told y'all that she tried to say that my family was full of witches who wanted me sacrificed. And which I believe that, because other people have told me that too. But they didn't talk about the gang stalking component. Miss Lisa Ruby and her husband, they claim to be gang stalked and targeted by the government, but yet they acted like narcissistic, very controlling perps. And I was afraid Miss Lisa was trying to have me killed, or was going to do me something or set me up. Her own husband, Gary, was walking around the house with a gun for no reason at all, on a very safe area in Greenville, South Carolina, out in the country. And I'm like, why are you, like during like 3 o'clock in the afternoon? And then the next day, he had the gun sitting on the table. And then he left, and like the gun was sitting on the table during the day when I finally left Miss Lisa's house. When I finally left Miss Lisa's house and had to spend nearly $80 or $90 somewhere, almost somewhere around that area, and the cab drivers almost didn't want to come and get me, and ride all the way to, I think it was Malden, South Carolina, from Greenville, and then to get a storage unit over there. And then I was homeless on the streets for 9 days and almost got arrested for sleeping on a church property. Well, it was supposedly a church, that Triune Mercy Center, and they all turned out to be fake and part of the gang stalking. I didn't even realize at the moment. In the Salvation Army shelter at, I think it was 417 Rutherford Street in Greenville, South Carolina. And if and that Triune Mercy Center was supposedly a church that helps homeless, and supposedly it's run by a woman, and they care more about the image of the property than the souls of the people. But they're only doing like just enough minimal help to homeless just to make themselves look good. That's what Freemasons do, and Eastern Stars. They'll do all this wickedness and blood sacrifices and witchcraft and whatever, these rituals behind closed doors. And you better not dare speak against them, that they're considered glorified, narcissistically glorified as upstanding do-gooders of society, that you would be mind boggled to think one negative thing about them. That you like that as fucking crazy. If you've been looked at as a crazy person, the one person who speaks the truth and say something. Like they had this lady, I forgot what her name was. She was an actress and she spoke out against one, I think it was a movie director, and he had like a good reputation. So they thought she was nuts and just trying to clout chase to sell her book because he died over 30 years ago. And she's came like trying to come out with a book or whatever, and they thought, oh, she's just clout chasing for her book if she ain't speaking the truth or whatever. But that's how people think that, you know, and they'll try to make it like she's the sicko for exposing the truth about him. So can't speak the truth about nobody these days. You know, they'll think you're a clout chasing, sick, crazy person. They think you want either money or attention. Basically, you are hurt and just want to get your truth out there, or need to get your truth out there. So at Triune Mercy Center, they had that lady, I forgot her name, was a female pastor, drive around with, which is a no-no. You're not supposed to be a female pastor. And drive around with a red, fancy, luxury. If it wasn't convertible, I just remember it being red and fancy, luxury two-door of some sort of vehicle. And in Greenville, South Carolina, they had these supposed church that an outdoor church service that they supposedly feed the homeless, but it's the forced church service and indoctrination and brainwashing and fake praise and worship, and then you get your physical food. And they turned down a black man who was homeless or hungry and hadn't eaten in over 3 days, and they even treated me with a bad attitude and mocked me and was smart ass and disrespectful and abusive and everything. So I think I remember I quit going. But sometimes when you're standing in a homeless soup kitchen line, I remember even in Greenville, South Carolina, like I would get into arguments, even at the outdoor soup kitchen, where I forgot the name of the ministry, but they seemed like, I didn't realize these were all perps who were homeless people who was stand close in my space and step on the back of my shoes. They would stand close in my space or step on the back of my shoes, cough on me, smoke cigarettes around me, and like get close in my space, And I'm the troublemaker when I ask them, or they'll blast loud music from their phone and everything. And so I'm the troublemaker if I ask them to not step too close to me. And they'll stampede you for food. And they had a narcissistic perp named Elaine who tried to call me greedy. And she was nice and normal. And then one day she just out the blue called me greedy. And then she thought she had the authority to punish me with silent treatment when I cussed her out and told her off about herself. Because it's like, I'm the only one you single out and call greedy. If we all get like a third and a fourth round, it's like we were able to go home with like 3 and 4 plates of food like every Tuesday evening. And I would eat one plate and then put the rest in the freezer and save that like for one meal, stretch that the rest of the week, and was saving money that way. And sometimes the Salvation Army will have extra bread and pastries. I would get to use the farmers market tokens or whatever with the food stamps and everything and stretch those. So even though I was kind of struggling and low income, I begged nobody for any money except that one day, the day Miss Lisa Ruby, I voluntarily left. I panhandled like for a few days. I guess the time when I was 9 days on the streets, but I don't even think I panhandled all 9 days every day. But out there in Greenville, South Carolina, they don't play. It's like they're supposed to be Christian, but they have zero tolerance for homeless, and they will straight up jail you for panhandling and asking for money. So much for the Bible Belt. But anyway, so I was able to stretch my money, in Greenville, South Carolina, like I did in Los Angeles. Oh yeah, and they did have food banks in Greenville, South Carolina. But sometimes a lot of people in Los Angeles would go to like three food banks a day. I didn't have that kind of energy, but I guess I would do it like maybe one or two food banks on maybe a Thursday, and then on a Saturday go to like one or two. But and that was the point in time I was going to the food banks almost every doggone day. But that became so exhausting. I wanted to work. I wanted a job. Couldn't get one nowhere. I even tried to get a job where David Jane was working. They didn't want to hire me. Even Goodwill didn't want to hire me. So anyway, back to Lisa, this fasting talk. um, I need to prepare myself to get back into fasting, like biblical and Christian fasting, because I mean, I certain principles of Christianity, I pretty much, I guess, forgot all about, and I need to get back into it. Like there was a point in time I was like devout, and then after Lisa Ruby and other religious narcs did what they did to me, I pretty much backslid. I didn't turn away, but I backslid and was lukewarm for so long, and I'm still kind of feel like I'm lukewarm and need to strengthen and better myself and be more holy. I know I need to. I need to better myself and be more holy, and it's very hard trying to be holy in nowadays. But I guess it's possible. Trying to be more holy and not fake holy. I'm talking about real holy. And I mean, there was a point in time when me having longer, I don't remember if it was long, but I guess it was longer hair, and trying to walk around with skirts and dresses, no pants, trying to be modest, trying to practice modesty. And it's like, I guess I didn't realize that I had been deceived into going back to, like the dog returned to his vomit. Like, I went all the way back into like not realizing. I mean, I guess my situation that I'm in, I guess it'll be harder for me to try to be feminine and modest and everything. Because with a job like this, you gotta wear pants. Um, so it's like some people say, you gotta deny. And there was a guy, I think I brought up the topic the other day, Sunday, briefly, and I guess I'm still kind of feeling like I'm not ready. Still, after over 5 years, 5.5 years, I still feel traumatized, and just from what Lisa Ruby did to me, and still feel like I'm not ready. But I know I need to pray about that too. That I need to deny myself, take up my cross, and follow Jesus. That I know I haven't been the best lately. You know, But I know one thing I haven't done that I falsely have been accused of. Sowing discord and creating trouble and stuff like that. On purpose to deter people, make up those lies on purpose to make even other Christians not even want to associate with me, or making like I'm just that horrible, or that I deserve to be punished and just rejected from the body of Christ. And that freaking traumatized me too. I know I need to clean up myself spiritually a lot. I know I have a whole bunch of stains, and I know I'm very dirty spiritually. And it's like I feel like wow, me trying to change so much, I feel like, oh, it's impossible, it's too hard. I feel like, oh, I just gonna give up. I don't care no more, or this is too much or too hard. But then again, I'm feeling like I can't afford to let myself. I cannot afford to let myself go to hell. I can't afford to let myself go to hell. But I still feel afraid that I will end up in hell. But to it seems like I've been obeying my hunger, or my body's been in a habit to eat 3 meals a day. But sometimes recently, like over the weekend, I think it was both Saturday and Sunday, I think I ate just twice and not all 3 meals. But I miss eating brunch. I miss getting to eat brunch though, or and I miss all you can eat buffet or buffet restaurants. But some people say that you gotta deny your flesh or crucify your flesh sometimes and don't obey it all the time. You know, and I know our body is a temple of the Holy Spirit, so we can't. I've been defiling my body with foods that's not so great. Not the best food, all in the name of trying to save money here and there sometimes, whenever I could. But I stay away from mainstream fast food, and I haven't found anything bad about places like Jimmy John's and Jersey Mike's. But Subway, no, I mean, I probably shouldn't be able to, I probably shouldn't touch Subway anymore. And I'm questioning whether or not I should even touch something like Waffle House anymore. I mean, and it's very hard, with my work schedule and everything, trying to eat nutritious. Um, trying to eat as healthy or nutritious as possible. But so I heard that if a person's like practicing fasting and prayer right now, they can be stronger. But make sure you read the Bible and pray right along with fasting. And I some people deny it. I don't know. They say God has to call you to. I'm still not up to par or have all that much knowledge, on fasting, but I've experienced some fasting before, and deprivation of anything can make you cranky, or I hate to say it, but excuse my language, but bitch. Like if you food deprived, sleep deprived, water deprived, any of deprived, then you end up being agitated, cranky, moody, irritable, kind of crazy. You know, people think you got a mental illness, but you just need food. You just need sleep. You just need something to drink. Something to drink. So I heard for end times starvation. I know I need to prepare myself because, like, I don't overeat anymore like I used to, but still, like, food is my weakness. But I'm not greedy anymore like I used to be when I was on those psychiatric medications. Eating like 2 quarter pounders and then having like the biggest McFlurry they have and the big orange high C. And I feel like I didn't like fries at the time from McDonald's or whatever. So I need to get back to how I was like in the beginning of 2018. I was measuring my food, and I got down to like 191 or 192 was the lowest I got since being 18. I've been over 200 pounds since at least 18 and a half. And so now I'm back, I'm at like 265. But I would eat a standard breakfast or a standard lunch and get full and go on about my day, or dinner or whatever. But, I've traumatized myself by abusing myself with food, being depressed for a long time. I nearly killed myself overeating, overdosing on sugar a few years ago. And that scared me. So I gotta go now.